Hi and welcome. Today we're making some shallot pancakes. Now, shallot is not something that we use too often here in Australia. It is actually like a small onion. When we went to Indonesia a couple of years ago, that's actually what they used. That was cheaper for them to use over there in Asian countries, shallots. Whereas for us here, we usually use onion. We can use spring onion as well instead. A lot of the Asian restaurants, when you purchase shallot pancakes, you usually get it with spring onion. So that's what we're going to be making it with today. Now, a bit of a tip for you, when you're using spring onion, you should really need to purchase spring onion. So I've just actually planted some now because I probably should have done it earlier really. But I planted it because all you need to do is just cut off the ends where the root is, and you can plant these roots in, and you can pretty much have an endless kind of supply of spring onion. You just cut off what you need in the pot, and you have spring onion all the time. So I've done that, and I'm going to do it with these ones too. And so that way I've got pretty much, I'll have 2 bunches of spring onion hopefully in the near future. Okay, so that's a bit of a tip there with the spring onion. I've also taken out the sauces that I'm going to use for the dipping sauce for this recipe. Now, these are my choice sauces. And this is what is my go-to. So a bit of background to my culture. My parents, or my dad and his parents, they migrated from China. So a lot of them born in Russia originally, a couple of generations ago, moved over to China to Australia. So I've kind of got a bit of those Asian influence of that umami and those kind of Asian flavors in a lot of our cuisine. And so that's kind of where I get my love for Asian food from, I think. So these are my choice of sauce and things that I use. So this Lee Kum Lee cream soy sauce is one that I'm kind of really enjoying at the moment, and I've been using probably for the last couple of years. You can get that in probably Coles and that, and as well Asian supermarkets. This one here is Chinese vinegar. Okay, this is my choice. I will use this pretty much in anything Asian cooking wise. Really excellent as well. Chinese shop, Asian grocer. This here is a new favorite. All right, so probably in the last about a year or so as well. Chili garlic sauce. So you might recognize the kind of rooster on the front from Sriracha, same dudes, but making this chili garlic sauce, really a lot of nice chili and garlic, really nice flavor, really nice almost with anything really. You could even put it on pizza, you could use it like Sriracha really. So that's what I'll use in there as well. And I'll actually add another ingredient, I'll put out a bit of coriander. All right, so as well, easy thing to plant, and you can have that kind of on tap as well, just cutting that off, or you can buy a bunch. Okay, so that's gonna be my sauce. So I just thought I'd pop that out here. I've already also made my oil. This is what I'm going to be using for my layers to get those nice flaky layers in the shallot pancakes. So here I have 3 parts sunflower oil and 1 part sesame oil. So the way you can do that is literally just do 3 teaspoons of sunflower oil, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil in there if you want to do it, or you can do it by eye. Okay, it doesn't really matter too much, but you don't want overpowering of sesame oil. It is really strong. Here I have my 2.5 cups of flour. Here I have my 250 ml of water that I'm going to add into 3 sort of portions. All right, as I'm mixing up this flour. Then I've got a bit of extra flour for dusting, and salt was already added into there as well. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the 3-part process of the water into the flour, give that a bit of a knead, and then we're going to let it rest for 10 minutes. So while that dough there is just resting for the 10 minutes, I'm going to cut up these spring onions. So we're going to need 2 cups of spring onions, green only, the green only part. The white, like I said, plant them. Great way of not having to purchase spring onions for next time or the next couple of times. Okay, so we're just going to cut it off right there, pretty much where the green breaks off. Okay, so we can leave it up to there. We'll cut that off. We don't really want those harder bits in the harder white parts in the pancakes. We just want the green. Okay, so we're going to cut that off. 2 cups in the bowl, and then we should soon be ready for making our shallot pancakes. First off is we're going to roll this out 50 centimeters wide by 20 centimeters in kind of in diameter. We're going to brush our oil on. We're going to roll into a long snake, wound it like into a bit of a spiral, roll it out again, so 50 centimeters by 20 centimeters. Put another bit of oil, salt if we want to, a bit of shallots or spring onions, and then we're going to roll that out again. I'm going to cut that into 4. roll them again into our little spirals, or however we can, and then press it down, shape it into our circles, and then we fry that. All right, so roughly 50 centimeters by 20 centimeters. Gonna brush on some oil. As we said, 3 parts regular oil, sunflower oil, or just like a vegetable oil of some sort, and then 1 part sesame. All right, give that a generous brush. All right, now we're gonna roll it up, okay, into our long little snack. Long snack. There we go, into our spiral now. Kind of hide that bottom bit underneath, so when we roll that out again, we have no disturbances or loose parts. Alright, so as this cooks, okay, so it kind of works like a croissant, if you know the kind of the theory behind that one. Really thin kind of pastry and butter in between croissants. This is the same sort of deal, okay? So pastry and then the oil, so when that oil heats up and it kind of lifts that pastry up a little bit, creating those lovely flakes. So when we bite into it, we get those nice flaky layers, that savory, those umami flavors from the sesame oil, the spring onion, all right, and that lovely salt, okay? And then we're going to serve it up with our wonderful sauce. Make the 4. And when I did these first ones, because they were so big and tight and it was only like a smaller piece, just the way by the time it came down to, they really just fell apart. Okay, so again, down with the oil, nice and generous. Excellent. All right, so we're going to split that one up into 4, half again. All right, so boom, boom, boom. Right, middle piece, a little bit more difficult because you are trying to spiral and you might have some coming out of each end, but you just have to make do, okay? So I just kind of grab it, turn it in, and just try to make it sort of work. All right, so when you do have the bigger ones, you kind of have, obviously you can't do like a full spiral. All right, these ones here, I decide to do mini ones. So we kind of get it in, put it underneath like this. All right, as long as it's still got those layers, and that's the main thing, make it into a bit of a circle, flattening down. Boom. Alright, so this is our shallot pancakes all done. And as you can see, they kind of have like this flaky sort of texture to it. You can see sort of those layers briefly on there, so as they kind of unfold. And that kind of has a bit of a pop in your mouth as well. And like I said, I pop those on, I've cut that up, and now we can just sort of even put a bit of salt flakes just generously throughout. Alright, and there's a little bit of a sauce there. I'm going to add some coriander in a moment as well, and serve that up.